Hello everyone, I am Charul. I welcome you all on my channel Education at Your Doorstep. This is the second lecture in the lecture series of Geomorphology. The students who are preparing for the civil examination, government examination and those who are in school can watch my video and can know about some various important facts about geomorphology, solar system, our Mother Earth and a lot more. Do you know which is the largest supercluster of the universe? In which supercluster our solar system is present? Which constellation have the pole star? And in which direction pole star is pointing toward? If you don't know the answer of such questions, please watch my previous video. Let us start our lecture. Now, do you know what is this? What is this messy thing? I don't think so you will be familiar. But we are very much familiar with this. At the center is the sun and all the other planets are revolving around it. This is known as solar system or the solar family. Do you want to know how it evolves? Let us see. First theory was the Nebular Theory. According to this theory, there was a big nebula which was formed of gases and dust. This nebula was rotating at a very high speed, because of which the cooling takes place and it gets compressed. Whenever we rotate any object at a very high speed, the heavier components come at the center. For example, if you will rotate an egg, the yolk will come at the center and the surface will become lighter. In the similar way, all the heavier and the hotter gases come at the center and all the lighter gases at the surface. And during this compression and cooling, one ring gets separated from its center, which was responsible for the formation of the 8 planets. Do you know why the core of terrestrial planet is so hot? Because there is some residual energy left. The whole energy is not consumed in the formation of the universe. So, this residual energy is present in the core of the planet, in the core of the sun. Do you know how this residual energy comes to the surface of the earth? This occurs whenever the volcanism takes place. In volcanism, the currents, the convectional currents and the magma come out at the surface in the form of lava. And this lava is responsible for the formation of the mountains, plains and plateaus. I think you are very much familiar with the thing that a nebula is a sphere of gas and the dust, which was rotating at a high speed. And when it gets cooled down, a ring gets separated to form the 8 planets, which are now revolving around the sun in the fixed orbits. Now you can see the meteors, comets and a lot of things in the universe other than the planets. These are the result of the small components that get separated from that nebula, cool down, but they didn't have that much mass to have the spherical shape and to form the planet. Now, are you clear with the theory? If not, then write down your doubts in the comment section. I will clear your doubts in the next class. Now coming to the second theory, which is the Big Bang theory. This is the most accepted theory in which it is said that the whole universe was confined in a small dot at the earlier time. But there was so much forces in it that it got blast. जब उसमें इतनी ज़्यादा forces थी, इतनी ज़्यादा energy थी, वो एक time के लिए blast हो गया. And that sphere formed various components. Some big, some large. If the components was very large to form the planets, then they are forming planets and are revolving around the sun. लेकिन इस sphere के सबसे बड़े part ने बनाया sun, which is very hot and have huge amount of energy in it. This is known as the residual energy. The core of the planets is very hot and this is also known as residual energy, which comes at the surface of the planets, to which we know as volcanism. Now, do you know the small components which get separated from that sphere are forming the comets, asteroids, meteors. Now, we will talk about this in the later classes. What are the comets, Kuiper objects, meteors, meteoroids, asteroids. Now, let us come to the planets. What are planets? Planets are basically the celestial bodies. Celestial body is anything in the universe which have some mass. And for a planet, three conditions should be fulfilled by any celestial body. It should be revolving around the sun in the fixed orbit. And also they should have enough mass to have the spherical shape. Third and the most important point is that their eccentricity should not be that much high that it enters into the orbit of some another planet. इसका मतलब वो सन के आसपास रिवॉल्व करना चाहिए, उसके पास एक स्फेरिकल शेप होनी चाहिए. एंड द थर्ड पॉइंट इज वो किसी और प्लैनेट के ऑर्बिट में एंटर ना करे. Do you know the Pluto entered the orbit of the Neptune in 1979 and left it in 1999. Because of this, astronomers said Pluto is no more a planet and now it is known as the dwarf planet. And if you don't find dwarf planet in the option, then go for the Kuiper object. These objects are basically the objects which are not that much researchable, and to that we known as Kuiper objects. Now coming to the 8 planets of the solar system. The smallest planet is the Mercury. The twin sister of Earth is Venus. It is also known as the evening and the morning star. Earth, our mother Earth. Then the Mars, which is red planet. The largest planet of the solar system, the Jupiter. Saturn, which have beautiful rings around it which are more than 50 in number. Then we will talk about Uranus, which is also known as the green planet and also lopsided planet. Lopsided planet. And the last planet is Neptune, which is about 30 astronomical unit away from the sun. We will know that what is 1 astronomical unit. And the last one is the Pluto, which is no more a planet and is known as dwarf planet. The trick to remember these planets in an order is my very educated mother just served us nuts. M for Mercury, V for Venus, E for Earth, M for Mars, J for Jupiter, S for Saturn, U for Uranus, and N for Neptune. My very educated mother just served us nuts. Now coming to the first planet of the solar system, that is Mercury. It's the smallest planet of the solar system and is very close to the sun. But still it is not the hottest planet but the second hottest planet of the solar system. It don't have atmosphere, because it's so close to the sun and the temperature at the surface of the Mercury is very high, because of which the gases expand and left the surface of the Mercury, dividing it from atmosphere. It don't have any natural satellite, and also due to its high temperature, only 2 spaceships, that are the Mariner 10 and the Messenger, have entered Mercury. But they were not able to do any such research on it. And one more thing, it is the second most dense planet of the solar system with density of nearly 5.4. You have to write down the answer which is the most dense planet of the solar system in the comment section. Guys, do you know what is diurnal temperature? It's basically the temperature difference in the day and the night of any area or the planet. As you know that Mercury don't have atmosphere, so no solar radiations will be trapped by the Mercury during the day, because of which the diurnal range of temperature will become very large. One more thing. One part of the Mercury is always facing towards the sun and one is always away from the sun. That is why the temperature difference between the 2 parts of the Mercury is very high, and it is just making the life impossible on the Mercury. Its radius is only 2440 kilometers, whereas the radius of the Earth is nearly 6400 kilometers. Now you can imagine how small it is, and it just takes 88 days to complete the revolution around the Sun. Are you clear with the Mercury? If you have any doubt, just write it down in the comment section. Let's talk about Venus, which is also known as the twin sister of the Earth. The main reason for this is that its size, its weight, and the internal structure of Venus is just like that of Earth. A very hot core, then the mantle, and then the rocky crust. There are large number of volcanic vents on this planet, and also it is believed that there might present some shallow ocean on the surface of the Venus. It is the hottest planet of the solar system because its atmosphere is having huge amount of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. So, if we will enter the atmosphere of the Venus, we will just get burned. And this is one of the reasons why life can't exist on Venus. But in the latest research, scientists have found phosphine on the Venus, which can be only possible if there exists life. Because algae and the fungi are the reasons why phosphine can be present in the atmosphere of any planet. It don't have any satellite, just like that of Mercury, and it is rotating in the opposite direction as that of the Earth. Can you tell me in which direction is Earth rotating? Is it eastwards or westwards? The Earth is rotating in westward direction. Is it right? No, Earth is rotating in eastward direction from west to east. That's why we feel that sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But if we will go to Venus, the sun will rises in the west and sets in the east. And the reason is it is moving in the westward direction. It is also known as the evening star or the morning star, because we can see the Venus in the sky with the naked eyes in the early evening. That's why it is known as the evening star. Now coming to our Mother Earth, which is also known as the blue planet of the solar system. This is because 2/3 of the surface of the Earth is covered with water. That's why if we will look at the Earth from the universe, it will look blue in color, and also it is rotating about its axis, which takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around it. If we take sun as a reference point, अगर हम लोग sun के reference में देखेंगे तो अर्थ 24 hours लेती है एक रोटेशन कंप्लीट करने में, लेकिन अगर हम किसी स्टार से देखते हैं तो वो सिर्फ 23 hours and 56 minutes लेती है रोटेशन में. If we take sun as the reference point, then the day is said to be the solar day, that is to complete one rotation of Earth around its axis. But if we take star as the reference point, then it is known as the sidereal day. The Earth is tilted towards the sun at an angle of 23.5 degree. Can you tell me what is 23.5 latitude known as? When it is in the north, what is known as, and also in the south? Let us know about the revolution of the Earth around the sun, which nearly takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one rotation. लेकिन हम लोग इन 6 hours को 4 साल के लिए इग्नोर करते हैं, एंड इन 6 hours को अगर 4 सालों के 6 hours को हम लोग एड अप करके 1 day बनता है, देन हम लोग उसको फरवरी के 28 days में ऐड कर देते हैं, जिसकी वजह से हम उस ईयर को बोलते हैं लीप ईयर. A normal year have 365 days and a leap year have 366 days. The Earth can broadly be divided into 3 zones: tropical zone, temperate zone, and the frigid zone. In the tropical zone, the sun rays will be falling vertically. We will be talking about the formation of the seasons, days, nights on the earth in the later classes. Now coming to the Mars, which is also known as the red planet of the solar system because it have a red color. And this red color is because of iron oxide. Iron oxide is responsible for the red color of the Mars. It is smaller than the Earth. The size was increasing with the distance from the sun, but Mars is the smallest planet. And also there are some rivers. यहाँ पर रिवर के बहुत सारे ऐसे एविडेंसेस मिले हैं कि यहाँ पर रिवर्स एग्जिस्ट करती थी. यहाँ पर बहुत सारे वॉल्केनिक वेंट्स भी मिले हैं जहाँ पे वॉल्केनिज्म होता रहता है. And also the highest mountain of the universe is present in Mars, which is known as Nix Olympia. Unlike Earth have just one natural satellite, Mars have two, which are known as moons, and those are Phobos and Deimos. Phobos and Deimos are the two moons of the Mars. And the most important thing is there are evidences of rivers because of which it is believed that एक टाइम पर यहाँ पर लाइफ एग्जिस्ट करती थी. अभी मार्स के बाद एक बेल्ट टाइप स्ट्रक्चर आता है जिसको कि हम लोग बोलते हैं एस्टेरॉयड बेल्ट. ये एस्टेरॉयड बेल्ट बेसिकली क्यों बनी? क्योंकि जब वो छोटा सा स्फीयर जो कि हमने बिग बैंग थ्योरी में पढ़ा था वो ब्लास्ट करता है तो बहुत सारे स्मॉल कंपोनेंट्स बनते हैं which were not able to form the planets but they formed some small rock like structures which are known as the asteroids. And between the Mars and the Jupiter, this belt is present, and to this belt we known as asteroid belt. Sirius is the largest asteroid of the universe. Sirius is the largest asteroid of the universe. जो भी planet sun and asteroid के बीच में आते हैं, for example the Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars are known as the inner planets or the terrestrial planets. Terrestrial planets are basically the planets which have the rocky surface, and the planets which are after the asteroid belt are known as the Jovian planet because they are very large in size, and also they are known as gaseous planets as their surface is gaseous in nature and don't have the rocky like surface. Are you clear with the asteroid belt? What are terrestrial planets? What are the gaseous planets? And which is the largest asteroid of asteroid belt is Sirius. Become serious because asteroid can also be big. This is the trick to remember the asteroid which is Sirius, and it's the largest asteroid. Now coming to the Jupiter, which is the largest planet of the solar system. Its mass is nearly up to the sum of all the planets, and if we will multiply it with 2. मतलब अगर सारे planets का sum लेकर उसको double कर दे, that's the mass of the Jupiter. Can you imagine how big and massy it is? It is nearly 11 times wider than our Mother Earth. It is believed that its core is liquid in nature and there may present the water. Also, its surface is not constant as it is gaseous in nature, and that's why Jupiter is also known as the gaseous planet. It have 79 moons, which are also known as the Galileo moons. Galileo moons, because these are being found by the Galileo. The main 4 moons are Io, Europa, Ganymede and the Callisto. Ganymede is the largest moon of the universe. The Jupiter is very big in size and is very bulky also. And the surface is made up of gases, because of which it is known as the gaseous planet. Now coming to the Saturn, it's very famous because it have nearly 50 rings around it, which looks really beautiful. And these rings are formed of the snow, the icy particles, rocks, and the moons of the Saturn. It have yellow, golden, brown color because of the ammonia and the other gases that are forming the surface. It is believed that its inner is full of ice and water. But life can't exist because it don't have a uniform surface or the constant uniform. क्योंकि जब भी सरफेस गैसियस होगा, गैसेस कभी भी एक्सपैंड कर सकती हैं, कभी भी कंप्रेस कर सकती हैं, तो लाइफ यहाँ पर एग्जिस्ट कर ही नहीं सकती. एंड ऑल्सो द टेम्परेचर ऑफ दिस इज वेरी लो. It is the second largest planet of the solar system. Its density is very low, even less than water. इसलिए अगर हम लोग सेप्टन को किसी ओशन पर रख दें, it will start floating. It's that much light. क्योंकि गैसेस का बहुत ज्यादा वेट नहीं होता, लेकिन उनका वॉल्यूम बहुत ज्यादा होता है, इसलिए सेप्टन की डेंसिटी एंड मास इतना कम है कि वो किसी भी ओशियन पर फ्लोट कर सकता है. Now coming to the Uranus, which is the green planet of the solar system because it's green in color. It also have the gaseous surface as it is the part of the Jovian planets. And also it takes 85 years to complete one revolution around the sun. इसका मतलब अगर हम लोग यूरेनस पर जाएं तो हम लोग पूरी लाइफ टाइम में शायद सिर्फ 3 से 4 सीजन्स ही देख पाएंगे. हमेशा हमारी लाइफ का बहुत सारा पार्ट 20 साल नियरली समर होगा, 20 साल स्प्रिंग, देन 20 ऑटम एंड देन 20 विंटर. कैन यू इमेजिन दिस? आई कांट. There are total 27 known moons of the Uranus. It is also known as the lopsided planet as its inclination towards the sun is maximum. It is more than 90 degrees tilted towards the sun. It have very low temperature. And also the one thing is that in all the Jovian planets, it is believed that there may exist water and the ice because of the very low temperature, and also they have gaseous surface unlike the terrestrial planets. Now coming to the Neptune, which is the last planet of the solar system and is at the distance of 30 astronomical unit. One astronomical unit is basically the distance between the sun and the earth, which is nearly equals to 150 million kilometers. But the Neptune is 30 astronomical unit far away from the sun. और आपको पता है हेलिपोज कहाँ पर है, मतलब जहाँ पर सोलर सिस्टम खत्म होता है. It's at the 100 astronomical unit. That means at a distance of 15,000 million kilometers. And that point where the solar system ends is known as the helipause. Heli for the sun and pause for just like a cap where the solar system ends. It is having 14 known moons. The temperature at this planet is very low. It takes nearly 165 years to complete one revolution around the sun. 165 years. It's just equals to twice of our age. Now you can imagine the formation of the seasons on the Neptune. That's why these planets are unfit for life and we are not looking for life in such planets. Now guys, you have to answer some questions and please write down the answers in the comment section. You have to tell me which two planets are moving in the opposite direction as that of the Earth. That is in the westward direction as the Earth is moving in the eastward direction. What are the two conditions for the celestial body to be a planet? How many planets of the solar system have the ring? Which planet have the highest diurnal temperature? Do you remember what is the diurnal temperature? It is the temperature difference between the day and the night in any area or planet. You have to tell me why Mars looks red in color. And the last two questions are, which is the highest mountain of the universe and which is the highest mountain on the earth? So guys, that's too much for today. You have to answer the questions I told you in the comment section. And if you have any doubts, you can contact me on my Telegram channel or you can just mail me. So guys, if you like my lecture, just like, share and subscribe. Guys, please share and subscribe so that other students can also make use of my lectures. I hope you will support. Thank you.